The hangout has begun. I hate it when it disappears like that. Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Can you handle it?
No.
Yeah,
I didn't think so. I didn't just ignore the intro thing. I didn't do that. I forgot to update it.
Okay.
Did you see that?
No. It's old.
Yeah, we'll just skip it this week.
But you got the date.
I did do that. Isn't that impressive?
Is the episode number correct?
Yes.
Wow. You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm actually just stopping that and hitting record again because we don't know all that crap. It's the CultureSmash cast, episode 315 from May the 14th, 2014. I'm Stephen Lackey, editor of CultureSmash.tv. To the left of me.
Nicholas Qualls, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
And round.
Zach Martin, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
Catherine Holder, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
Wait, let me bring your camera. Here he is. Go.
Mike Young, contributor to.
And never to be missing in the
Hi,
chat room.
everybody. Dwayne Pitt, contributor to Dwayne Pitt. I'm on location this week.
He's on location. Actually, no, because the chat runs direct into the garage
sweet.
meeting. Yes. Yeah, so we can't cover him. I learned that one time when I had bad mic placement and people in the chat room sounded better than Nico on one episode of the show.
That's actually most episodes of
I
the
was
show.
going to say, generally most people.
I didn't say more interesting. I said sounded better. There's a
Okay.
very big difference there. So this is the first time we've done a regular quote-unquote show in almost a month.
Yeah.
Because we've had film ball and the whole thing.
Somebody had to leave the country.
Yeah, it happens. So I had a story here that was supposed to be for Nathan, since he has agreed to have his balls kicked at the end of the film ball. This was supposed to be his story.
That is if she loses, though.
No. That is if you do better than me.
Exactly. Exactly. Don't make me go to the tape.
That might happen. I will kick all y'all's balls if.
Wait a minute. I had nothing to do with
I'm
this.
not even in the brackets.
That's true.
It's
You
true.
weren't even in the bracket, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
So really, it's just Zach and Nathan's balls that get kicked.
Whoa,
I don't know. You were
what?
laughing at me
I was trying to help you at one point.
At one point.
at one point.
Well, only
me.
only the time when I saw you getting bit up and I was afraid you were getting something dropped on you. I was like, oh god, don't do that.
No, not that one. That one I kind of knew what I was doing. It was just Nathan distracting me during the purge. Kitty, stop! Kitty, stop! Kitty, Nathan! And it sold off.
And it went, and then the game was over.
So how about that story, Zach?
But I will,
Oh.
yeah, we'll talk more about film ball in a momento.
Okay, so in the news, when a foot or knee or fist or a baseball hits a pair of testicles, the signal is sent to the brain at approximately 265 miles per hour. The brain then responds to send an alert down to the spine, into the groin, and the abdomen. The testicles, through a batch of neurotransmitters called substance P, which are associated
Substance penis.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Which are associated with both the pain and the inflammation processes. The ball sends
Substance.
P through the spinal column into the part of the brain called the somatosensory. Yeah, that word.
Nice. I should have let Mike read this.
Which is responsible for processing physical sensations. In this case, the physical sensation is, oh my god, my balls. That's particularly insidious and vicious about
Insidious?
getting your testicles slammed by a foot, knee, or flying object. That the fun doesn't just stop with the searing pain. Next, the brain. Why are we reading this? This is how.
Because this is what's
This
gonna
is
happen
exactly what's going to happen to you
Nathan.
and Nathan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just like. This is so much fun.
Yeah, you guys are going to get this because I feel like it's going to happen.
I think we got the point, though.
Yeah, the fun just doesn't stop with searing pain. Next, the brain releases endorphins.
There's some good stuff coming out.
Yeah, there is some.
Leading to decreased oxygen levels within the brain. Of course, the decrease in oxygen causes a throbbing headache and sometimes nausea. I can say I've felt that before.
You got kicked in the balls?
Oh, yeah, I've been punched, kicked, yeah.
I'm
Well,
sure
you are-
deserved it each and every time.
No,
Here,
there was a couple times where it came out of nowhere. And
Yeah.
it's like, what did I do?
skip. Right.
We're just going to skip a full page?
Skip. No, it's right here.
Okay,
That's where
we're
it
gonna
gets good
skip
again.
a good almost page.
Well, that's why some people edit their stories.
I leave that job to the editor.
Oh, I edit your work, not your stories you read.
How does a man recover from such a swift and intense pain that usually lasts for about 15 minutes? Lay back. Quote, while lying down on one's back, equilibrium can begin to be reestablished as blood can flow more easily to the brain. Dr. Mirza explains. Mirza?
It's close enough.
Yeah, Mirza.
I'm about to kick you in the balls now.
I am too.
Laying down will restore oxygen to the brain, help with the pounding headache, diminish the nausea, as well as, putting an end to any waterworks situations. However, if you have been throwing up last night's dinner and literally sweating your balls off, you might want to go for a post-ball kick refreshment. Replenishing fluids the body lost through sweating and puking your way through the experience, it will help make a speedy recovery.
Nathan does puke a lot. This is going to be
This
bad.
is true.
Of course, depending on the severity of the kick, the anger of the kicker, and the chosen footwear, a guy in his plums could be in for the worse. If the pain of the experience does not subside within 15 minutes, get knee and thigh balls to a physician.
Yeah. So, what will be the chosen footwear?
I don't know. I actually had
Steel-toe
a
boots.
really
Steel-toe
fun...
boots, come on.
You're getting it in the balls too.
Actually,
What?
I had
What?
a really fun thought. What if we let the listeners decide what footwear?
That's a good idea. You should take some pictures of.
Yeah.
Break it down to 3, and then we'll let them pick.
So maybe a what did you say?
Steel-toe boots.
Steel toe boots. Although I don't think I own a pair of steel toe boots, but I'll buy a pair gladly for this. So steel toe boots, a pair of stilettos. Stilettos, yeah.
Ooh.
And what would
You have any of the ones with like spikes all over them?
Yes, I do.
This might be going a little
But
bit
they have
too
spikes.
far, but some of those shoes, like the
Heel kick.
that Russian woman from Spy, from Russia with Love wore.
Well, the one with the knife?
I don't know.
Yeah. Like a 2-inch blade?
Yeah, that'd be going
The poison
far
one?
away.
So you can wear the Anne Hathaway cap.
Do you have an opinion on this, Dwayne?
I would rather break my arm than get kicked in the balls. So, kudos to Nathan for going through with this plan.
Breaking your
You know,
arm will be
I
more
realize
annoying in the long term.
I've never had like a serious, kick to the balls. I mean, guys who play, any kind of sports, often this happens accidentally, I guess, but I'm not a sports guy. But I do know what this feels like. This is exactly, the symptoms I say here are exactly the symptoms I had when I came out of watching in a theater Pacific Rim Job.
Oh.
So I know what the pain is. It is. I was sweating. I wanted to throw up.
That's an abdominal pain.
Yeah, I did.
Or crying.
The only thing I was missing was the throbbing plums. I didn't have that.
That's because you didn't stay until after the credits.
That's it. Thank God for that. That was a good
Even
decision.
don't you wish your review of that movie had been worse than the kick in the balls?
As someone who's both gotten kicked in the balls and broken their arm, I could say a kick to the balls actually hurts worse.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I said,
That's interesting.
like I said, the arm would be more annoying in the long term. because
Well,
you have to
right,
deal with
because
that.
it says in the article that, I don't know if it's actually, I might have cut it out, but the ball kick pain is only good for 15 minutes.
Yeah,
And
that's
it goes
the thing.
away. Yeah.
That was like the last thing he
It's a long.
Oh, okay. It may be the longest 15 minutes of your life. Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you think, Michelle? What should Catherine wear? What kind of shoes should she wear? She's smiling about it.
First, I can't stop laughing.
Claws.
Ooh.
Wooden claws.
She's still
And
laughing.
they could just boom, stick out there.
See, this is the reason we do what we do, because it makes Michelle laugh.
Right. So, okay, I think we have it down then. Spiky stilettos. I have a pair of spiky
No,
stilettos.
pointy.
You have to
I got
take
their
pictures of.
spiky.
What's
They
that?
are. They're spiky on the heels.
Oh.
Pointy stilettos.
Pointy. Oh, they're pointy. They're pointy stilettos, but they also have spikes on the heels.
Yeah.
I never wear them. I only wear them for photo shoots. And steel-toe boots and then clogs. I like the clogs.
I think I think you should skip the steel-toe boots if you don't have them. You don't want to buy boots just for this
If we're being
purpose.
faithful in Nashville, maybe
Roach kickers, yeah.
You know what? I do have a pair of good sturdy cowboy boots.
That's it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what the other one should be.
yeah.
That's
Done.
See, Michelle's in agreement on this one too. That's exactly what it should be.
I would
Alright,
like
so you
to take
take
this
pictures
opportunity to announce my Kickstarter campaign to buy Katie some steel toe boots.
Kickstarter begun.
Let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
All right, so we're leaving it up to you guys. You make the choice. Pointy stilettos.
I can't wait to hear
or
Ada
gloves.
and Hector's comment on that particular situation when they come in the chat. All right, so let's talk about the movies. We've got the box office from last weekend. Number 10 at the box office was Brick Mansions. It made $1.6 million over the weekend. It's made $18.4 so far on a $28 million budget. This one is, I guess, noteworthy because it's Paul Walker's last movie.
I learned this the other week. This is actually a remake of District B13.
I'm kind of curious to see it.
That's right.
Yeah,
I
I
remember
kinda-
making that. I completely forgot.
Mhm. I guess it's minus all the parkour.
I think.
Or is that-
I think it also. It
Yeah,
also
all
got,
the yeah.
Like it got kind of probably swept
Explicit
under the rug.
tag.
Well, it got swept under the rug
Catherine.
You
after.
covered it.
What?
Would you?
No. What are you talking about? You're
Oh.
fucking giving it attention. You just keep going.
Yeah, it's too late. It was said. It's in there.
We're PG.
Know your place, Brody.
Thank you.
It probably got
Um,
swept under the rug though after his death, so they didn't really do much promotion. But they had
Yeah.
to release it.
Well, it's we only for an example. We only have it in one theater in Tennessee.
Yeah.
It's at Hollywood 27. All right, so number 9 was Divergent. Made another 1.7 million. 145 million it's made so far on an $85 million budget.
What's wrong about that?
Yeah, some of us, Dwayne and me, were wrong.
Me.
Well, we weren't that wrong though. It's how many weeks? It's just 8 weeks it's taken to make
I
$145
really
million.
thought this was going to bomb, so I'll come out and say this is shocking to me.
Yeah,
I am shocked as well.
we have a total of 3 new movies this weekend, but new at number 8 is Legend of Oz: Dorothy's Return. It made $3.7 million. This is an
heard it's awesome.
Yeah, I bet you have heard it's awesome.
I actually saw a positive review.
Did you really?
They were
Really? Was it a
genuinely-
5-year-old?
No, this was like a 27-year-old woman. She's like, I really, and I don't know if y'all know, there's this YouTube called Behind the Trailer. Grace Randolph is her name, and she's like, I went in this movie really not wanting to be there, and I really liked it. I thought it had a lot of good charm, and I'm like, what? So I started reading the comments of that YouTube channel. Everybody's like, I took your advice and I went and saw it. I want my money and my time back.
The funniest thing I heard about this movie is that it looks like really good animation circa 2002.
I was about to say, this
Circa 2000.
Yeah.
this
Wow.
looks straight to DVD.
It
Straight
does
to
look
the-
like it.
straight
It's
to
not
Yeah.
the
look good.
dumpster.
Yeah.
It looks like a Barbie movie.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I don't have it in the film ball.
The good news is,
I paid $6 for it, so.
Yeah.
There you go.
you were.
It's actually that's
That's a little high, actually.
yeah.
And number 7 was Mom's Night Out. Made a $4.3 million on a $5 million budget.
It's
This-
pretty good.
It is. That was a Mother's Day buy right there.
Yeah.
They got that out at the right time. Number 6 is Rio 2. I'm amazed that this movie's still in the top 10. It made $5 million. Made 113 so far on a $103 million budget.
So we'll get Rio 3.
Number 5 is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Made $5.7 million. It's made $245 million on a $170 million budget. It's a nice profit.
I hate
Yes.
to say this, but 6 weeks into it, I'm finally getting intrigued.
You need to go see it before it disappears.
No,
Wow.
I'll see it when it gets to the $2 theater, but I'm just.
I will
I'm
also
like,
see it when it
come
gets
on,
to
let's
$2
get-
theater. You know what? I also saw it opening.
Exactly.
I will gladly go see it for $2.
Story-wise, to me, if you just base it just on script, it's the best superhero movie of them. I've really put a lot of thought into it, and it really is.
It's
better than
it's
Dark Knight?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, better than Dark Knight.
Yeah.
It's better than all 3 Batman movies.
Hands down.
Story-wise.
it's definitely
has been thrown.
hands down. It's definitely the best Marvel movie. I still like
It
the
is.
Avengers more, just because it's more fun.
Well, but when you start to say which is the best movie, you bring in
Yeah,
more than just
exactly.
story.
Well,
you know.
with the quality wise, like in terms of quality storytelling and production, this is hard to beat.
I
It's
is.
love
fantastic.
Dark Knight, and it was
I did
a
too.
great story. What they were, the themes behind it. It was really deep. But Captain America is one of those better movies. I mean, it's just they made less mistakes.
Yeah, and then there's other little things in there that really appeal to me. Like I just love a good buddy cop movie when it's done right. And it's essentially there's that in there, and I love the hero on the run story, and that's in there too, and
Yeah.
done well. You know, it's just it's good. It's really good. Which means, Catherine, you'd even like it, even though you follow the superhero stuff as much as us.
I don't, but you know what? I do enjoy superhero movies, and I do enjoy Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chris Evans.
So.
And Chris Evans.
Yeah, but I'm more of a Robert Downey Jr. girl. Even though, like, yeah, it was funny on Avengers when Thor would come on and Chris Hemsworth, Robert Downey Jr. walks on and you're just like, I can't. There's a beautiful man right there, but it's Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. has a lot more charisma too, though.
Yeah.
You know.
Dang.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see.
Number
4 was Heaven is Real. Made 7.4 million.
Heaven is for real.
For real. Yeah.
It should be cool.
Yeah.
Number 4. For real.
Yeah.
No.
Shut
Is
up.
that how long it is? 4 reels?
I hope not.
For me, so.
Yeah. It made 75 million on a $12 million budget. Number 3 is The Other Woman. It made another 9.6 million. That one's made 62 million so far on a $40 million budget. And this is kind of
Look at the other one.
probably this is kind of like that whole space that Cameron Diaz movies exist. You know, they make good money but not amazing money.
I didn't even know Cameron Diaz was in this. I
She's a
honestly
top-liner.
had no idea about this movie.
It's Cameron Diaz, Leslie Mann, a model turned actress, and Nicki Minaj is in it.
Yeah.
Jamie Lannister is also.
Mhm.
Okay, well,
He's
that's
making his
one
movie
thing.
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2 is The Amazing Spider-Man 2. 35.5 million. That one's did over the weekend. 146 so far. It kind of had a big drop, 61% drop from week over week. But I looked that up, and it's consistent with the previous one. So.
Yeah,
And it's
a
actually-
much better film than the previous
And it's
one.
actually consistent with the last few Marvel movies too.
That's not real good news for Film Ball though, because that's.
It's good news for me.
It's good, yeah, it's good news for me.
It doesn't have it. But
Yeah.
I mean, at that rate, well, it didn't get to 200 million before the
Before the 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Oh, not.
Hope not too. And the last new movie was Neighbors. It came out over the weekend. It made 49 million on an $18 million budget, and everybody that I know says this movie is great except Zach.
Wait, what? Remind me what this movie is again?
It's Seth Rogen
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
right, I want to see this one. And Zaquisha.
Who's that?
And he's Zac Efron, but I call
Oh.
him Zaquisha because he's a little effeminate. But he looks good without his shirt on.
which
Well, good for him.
I've seen a lot of promotion. He doesn't have a shirt
He
on. in
doesn't
this.
have a shirt
Mhm.
on.
Yeah, it basically.
He only has his shirt off in like 3 scenes.
I don't
and then
care.
they put
Only
these
3
all
scenes?
straight.
I sound disappointed. Zach.
Yeah, Zach's like, it's only 3 scenes.
You're like, oh my gosh, his shirt's off. It's like,
Not
3 scenes.
And they
I
have
would
to make fun
rather-
of that because they know their audience.
Anyway, what the hell was that?
Someone's been thinking about Zac Efron with his shirt off.
Yeah, let me swap to Dwayne's camera. What's going on? Look
Not
how
the soul chips out.
Dwayne is nothing but serious when
It's
it comes
true.
to Zac Efron.
It's true. I love when Dwayne is in the chat because it's like he's in a cave. He's like in the black hole over there.
I'm in my man cave.
Witch Project.
Yeah, he's in his man cave. That's true. All right, so that's the weekend box office. This weekend opening we have Godzilla. It's 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. When I wrote the script, it's actually down to 86%. But
It's pretty good.
generally, for a monster movie,
That's good.
anything above
For
65-70% is really good for
anything above Pacific Rim, really, and let's be
Job.
honest.
job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we've got $1 Million Arm. This is noteworthy because it's the guy from
John Hamm.
John Hamm.
It's from Don Draper.
Yeah,
And
John
it's a
Draper.
Disney movie. It
Yeah.
actually looks kind of.
It's only at 60% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's a heartwarming tale about he's basically he's Jerry Maguire and he goes to
I
India.
kind
to
of
get
feel
his
like
line.
it's been done, this story. a
Yeah,
little
he's
bit.
Jerry
Yeah.
Maguire.
Yeah.
But with baseball, and it's not Tom Cruise, thank God.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
John Hamm, who we like. a
Tom
lot.
Cruise is actually in a movie coming out this summer I want to see. But I
Tom Cruise
do.
does movies I like to see.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I don't go to it because he's in it, but he picks good scripts sometimes.
He's a good actor.
Yeah,
It's hard to
he does a
it's
good
hard
job.
to argue against that.
I would say he's the worst.
What the hell was that?
Maybe good actors, not that he's a great entertainer.
He's a good entertainer.
That's
You know
okay.
what?
Well-
I'm fine
But
with
I don't know.
that.
I have to say, actually, I would probably.
I think
Yeah.
he
He
can
has
act.
to do it in every movie.
I challenge anybody who says he's not a good actor to go and watch Magnolia.
Oh no.
And you know what? I did like him in Magnolia,
Mhm.
and I liked him in what was the one with him and Jamie Foxx where he was driving around?
Collateral.
Collateral is
Collateral
a
was
great
fantastic.
Great
movie.
in Collateral. That was where I was like,
Yeah.
dang it, he can't
Tropic
act.
Thunder. I mean, it was a
Oh,
Tropic
yeah.
Thunder.
I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean that was.
He is a perfect example of somebody who is almost untouchable in Hollywood until his personality got too public.
And then I think he's gone back to fix a lot of that.
He's trying to, yeah.
He's consistently doing a lot of work, and his movies, if they're not even making gangbusters, they're still good.
Well, when you consider other actors that are kind of the same era as him, when he was at his peak, he's making more money than most of them.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at somebody like Arnold Schwarzenegger, who started slightly before him. This dude can't make, he's lucky if he makes $20. Bruce Willis. These guys aren't making money, but he can still. This movie that he's got coming out still make 50,
Tom Cruise is
$75
in
million
his
bucks.
50s, and he's still tumbling around and falling and taking hits and all that stuff. He's still an action star,
It's
and he hasn't really slowed down.
It's
He's
'cause he
small,
doesn't-
so
it's-
he doesn't have as far a ball.
and it's because he doesn't have sex, so he
He
retains his
doesn't
man.
have sex with women. Oh, wait, did I say
No.
that?
He doesn't he retains his.
I hope the evil emperors aren't going to get me with this or whatever.
That's it. I tried. They had one of those Scientology open houses here, and I tried to get Catherine to go with me. She wouldn't do it.
No!
She said she'd rather go to a scary movie.
I really would. I would
Okay.
rather you take me to a haunted house and a scary movie so
And
because that is black voodoo
As
magic.
paranoid
shit.
as you are about Google having any information about you, I would be much more paranoid about Scientology.
I
having
know.
any information
I
about
know,
me.
but it's
It's
fascinating. It's fascinating.
It's
I would
fascinating.
I would only go if I had like a fake ID. It's just like, here's information about Zach Martin. That's my
The moment you sit down and talk to them, they have.
name. Bring me, I'll have you.
I was about to say,
I
can
love
I
it.
bring my copy of The Master and have them sign it?
Yeah, I see. Dwayne will go with me. You'll go with you, Dwayne.
Oh hell no, I will not. Hey, just go to the National Flea Market sometime and listen to them talking to people.
Go to the flea market?
They get in these people's heads within 5 minutes, and these people are like, just sitting there,
Scientology!
They're shutting him up. Yeah.
We better move on. We don't want the show to be shut down.
Often, right up the street, they're standing on the corner handing out those little Scientology and they were doing an IQ test last summer out there. Yeah.
And it's not it is an IQ test. But after you do the IQ test, you literally go in and you hold that thing that
I know
is
I've seen that on South Park, but is that
it
actually
is
true?
actually real because I've had friends who have gone and done it, and I can't. It makes me so scared because it is such like a sheep mentality.
I guess I'm just not scared because I can't be there's certain parts of my just built into my psyche that would make it impossible for them to do anything to me.
It's not necessarily the fact of
I'm
like,
almost as bad as Mike that way.
No.
The more sheep mentality they get on me, the more just opposite. Even if I agreed with them, I'd be like,
it's not the fact of like, oh, I'm scared that I'm gonna go in there and they're gonna change me, or oh no, God is gonna strike me down because I went to another church. I could care less about that. I am scared about what Nico's scared about. They're gonna have my stuff, and then they're gonna track me down for the rest of my life.
yeah.
That will
And
happen.
then they're gonna own me. Ooh,
Well, but see,
They're
that's the one
scary.
thing about being.
they're powerful.
This is the thing about being an entertainer, though, is they have my stuff already. I get stuff in the mail from them all the time, and it's because I'm listed in the production guide. And that's what they do. Each state, they go to the production guide and look for entertainers and, production people, and they contact you. And I can't.
Found their niche, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't not have my information in there. So yeah, I actually get custom mailings from them because of that.
Scientology is the best red herring ever. Drug problem? Scientology. They're gay? Scientology.
Yes.
You murdered somebody? Scientology.
I just want to go in there and say, I would join your merry band, but I like having sex too much. It just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. I prefer to give away my manhood, rather than withhold it, like Tom Cruise. Although, what is he? You said he's 55?
He's in his 50s.
Yeah, so it's like working for him, I guess.
Yeah.
Also, opening this weekend is Wolf Creek 2. It's only 55% on Rotten Tomatoes, which makes me sad because I loved Wolf Creek. This movie?
Oh, yeah.
It's an Australian horror movie. But what's so good about Wolf Creek, the first one, is nothing happens that's horror related for 45 minutes. It's really a movie about a group of people that get together and go sort of camping in the outback. So you spend all that time really getting to know these people.
I can name another movie that does the same thing.
Well, but wait. But then you start to... So when things do happen, it's like more effective. Yeah, Hostel kind of, except Hostel is more...
TNA. The first 45 minutes is just...
And more campy. Which, by the way, have you guys seen the new Eli Roth movie trailer?
No, what's it called?
It's called Green something. Green. Anyway,
Well, moving on then.
it looks like Cannibal Holocaust. He's doing a cannibal movie. It even comes up and it says, the tribe depicted in this movie has never been on film before.
Yes!
You've seen that?
I think I did.
This sounds like
Green Inferno.
Green Inferno! That's it. Thank you, Dwayne. Green Inferno.
The last time I watched Cannibal Holocaust was with the chat room of hardened internet commenters, and it was the funnest time I've ever had watching.
funnest time.
Funnest time.
Yes, it was
Watching
hilarious.
Cannibal
That's how you know he doesn't know how to have fun.
It's
No,
true.
say it
Every
correctly.
time a rape scene happened, the chat room just went nuts, going like USA, USA. It was like it was twisted sort
See,
of fun.
Zach has found a group of douchebags that are just douchebaggy as he is to hang out with online.
Zach is out of home.
Yes.
Every time the music goes.
You guys should start your own. What's that game? What's the game where it's like real life? Is Second Life. You guys should start
Second
a
Life.
third
It's
life,
still a
and you guys
thing.
can all just. It is. It's still out there.
Yeah, Second Life's still
Alright.
very popular.
Mhm. It's still out there. Yeah. So bizarre.
So I just want to make sure Zach has found a chat where they yell for
I'm
rape.
sorry. What, Dwayne?
Scientologists still have it.
Wow, Dwayne, your
Zach is
connection is terrible.
Yeah, the Scientologists really have it out for you.
Yeah, they
Dwayne.
want you dead.
So, moving on to the film ball.
All right, so yeah, I have the film ball now.
Hey, Dwayne, type it out.
We can pull up the chat. Let me pull that chat up real quick just so we
I
can see
will type
here.
it out.
There. So
The only problem with having it typed out is that Zach is going to be the one who says it for you.
that's true. That's
Keep that
the
in
scary
mind, Dwayne.
part. I only have the primary film ball list here because I don't have the second and third tier groups confirmed as far as the movie list because I don't think they're
Because he
accurate.
wasn't.
Ah!
What?
I'm not reading it.
No. Have I found a pro-rape group to watch movies with? Well, I hate to tell you,
Yeah.
no. No, and I don't want to.
So, moving on.
Are you-
Come on. Come on.
Okay, so this is actually our second week of Fantasy Film Ball because it started with Spider-Man, and I don't have, like I said, I don't have everybody's
We're
list
mentioning
here.
only just Spider-Man at this point.
Exactly.
Let's
And we'll do the second, third tiers next week when I have the list. But in the main bracket right now, I have $0. Nathan has $0, and Dwayne has $0. This is not that big a deal because we only have two movies to contend with. Bill has Spider-Man in our group, so you got 146 million so far off that movie, and Mike has the
Legend of Oz.
Legend of Oz, which 3.7 million. He's on the board. But we were just talking about this. Literally, there is at least one movie every weekend for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've got Godzilla opening this weekend, and
Godzilla, then X-Men Days of Future Past, then Maleficent, and Million Ways to Die.
I'm really feeling like I might have made a mistake letting Godzilla go though, because like I see at the theater, it's showing on like 4 screens.
It's everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's way
It's
huge.
gonna probably do pretty well, but seeing the longevity of these films is gonna be interesting because
Yeah.
they're followed up by so many things in
Right.
succession.
And what is that going to do to X-Men? Because you're going to have X-Men and Godzilla on second weekend, X-Men starting. I'm really hoping it kind of they kind of crush
I think
each
it'll
other a little bit.
soften X-Men a bit, but I think X-Men's still gonna do pretty well.
I know Dwayne had put all of his money in that Easter basket of X-Men, so anything that can crush his dreams makes me happy. So if you're interested in what do you say, Michelle? She's laughing in the chat room.
I said I'll turn off my mic.
If you're interested in Fantasy Film Ball, basically, well, I'm not going to go over the rules. It's very simple. But you can go to our Google Plus page, or you can go to our YouTube page, just search for CultureSmash, and you can see all of the bidding. It's all up there. The main tier bidding was last week on the main show, but we had 2 other tiers that are up there for viewing and listening pleasure. I would highly suggest going and checking those out because they were quite entertaining. And that's where the Catherine's going to kick Nathan in the balls thing came to be. So.
Yep.
I'm still waiting for the color you want your participation ribbon.
Don't make me ruin my script too much. We're not all the way through the show, Romy.
So let's get to the important news.
All right, so Catherine, you have the first story. This one's
you
custom free.
skipped a story.
Hey, don't skip this one because it's the big one.
Oh well, actually, wait. Let's see. Let me pull this picture up because we have to discuss this at least briefly. We have the new Batman costume, the Batfleck costume, and a little bit of the Batmobile here for our consideration. And it's so funny because I looked at the costume and I thought, well, it's fine. I mean, it doesn't look that much different to me than the other movies, really. Except people went ballistic over the stupid ears on the cowl.
People are complaining about that. I've seen that it's too small, and
It looks like a cat head or something. And
yeah,
really?
Well, there's a character, Catman, that's got a very similar suit as Batman, and the ears are shorter, so it kind of looks like that.
Catmandu?
Yeah, it's a real thing. But I'm fine with the shorter ears. I don't like the large ears. Not that like the Christopher Nolan designs have been particularly big.
No, but the Tim Burton had one that had really huge
long
ears on it.
and it worked for Burton's style, but it's not my preference.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. I generally like it. I like that it looks more fabric-y instead of rubbery.
I think
looks worn. You can see like scratches and scuffs on the bat symbol, so it looks like he's used it for a good bit. It's definitely going with that, with the premise of using an older Batman, one who's been working for a while. I like his utility belts. Actually, a utility belt looks like you can have things in it. Got pouches. And overall, I like the outfit. I think it's going to be interesting.
I think it's cool looking, and I think Ben Affleck wears it well. I mean, this looks like a stylized picture, but this was put on Zack Snyder's Twitter, and he took it with his Leica camera.
That's the only thing I don't like about it, and I like it. It looks like a nice picture. It's stylized, but because of that, it looks cool, but I don't get a feel of how it's going to look in the movie.
I don't think they want you to get that feel
And,
yet. It's
no, I agree. I'm sure they don't want us to have that feel yet, but that's what I want to see. I want to see it in motion.
What do you guys think? You have opinions on this suit? Anybody else?
I think the suit's fine. It's because they're going for the Frank Miller look of the Dark Knight Returns.
And you know, it kills me that you reference that because you don't read comics.
I've seen the animated, the Part 1, Part 2 Dark Knight
Really?
Returns animated.
That's your reference to the animated version, not the actual. Really?
Well,
Really?
these things.
You suck. Catherine, what do you think?
I'm a little disappointed that there are no nipples on there. George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell. You know what? I love the nipple guards. What can I say? Now, this looks fine, and I agree with you. I hadn't noticed that before. I do like the scuffs on there, showing that it's a little more worn. I love the Batmobile. I think that looks
The Batmobile looks
I
fantastic.
want to
Honestly,
see more.
I like the droplets
costume,
on
I'm
it.
like, whatever. It's Batman. It's fine. It looks like a modern Batman.
It doesn't look stupid. It just looks like Batman. I'm fine with it. All this nerd rage on the internet.
If I had to complain, because I do.
Yeah, of course you do.
I was a fan of Christopher Nolan's body armor looking version. I actually like that. I thought that was more practical. If a real world setting, I'm going for the fantastical Superman in existence.
But it's a valid point though, because if Batman's supposed to take a beating, he needs to have. If he's just a human guy.
More like a costume.
Yeah.
Instead of armor.
Yeah, and it's not like I don't believe that there's not Under Armour under that. It's Batman. Of course,
There's no way Ben Affleck got this ripped. He's married. He's I'm just saying.
If it's armor underneath it, then why would it be sculpted to look like musculature?
This is sculpted to look like musculature.
I mean,
He's supposed to be intimidating.
Yeah. And looking like you have armor isn't as intimidating as just looking that
Well,
tall.
and you know that's what people, a lot of people have been saying that the idea of the bat suit from the beginning was for him to be intimidating, and I feel like the shorter ears take away from that. I
don't agree.
It's like whatever. I want to see more of the car. That car.
I want to see more of the car.
More intimidating.
That's the argument because this is cutesy.
That's a well-known thing. You know, big ears are
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah.
intense.
You didn't know this?
When I see somebody like double
I was gonna say Martin Lawrence is a scary bastard. I'm telling you.
That's true. Martin Lawrence is kind of scary. at
Yeah.
times.
If I had another criticism,
Dumbo, don't get me started.
Exactly.
if I had a very, very small criticism, which I'm sure they're going to film, based on just a single picture, I can only go off this. I remember in Dark Knight they made a point out of, I'd like to be able to move my neck. You know, and that this image itself, I don't know if they're going to change this for the film. I don't know if they're going to address this for the film. All I have to go is off this image.
Yeah.
It looks like it's the same. You know,
I doubt it.
That was the one thing I liked about the Nolan films was that they fixed that. I can my neck.
Yeah, because he had this sort of R2D2 thing from the
He always
from the
had
from
This
the
is
from
going
the
off of
shoulders
an
up.
early image only, not based on a trailer, any actual movie footage. So
Well, but that-
don't want to use
But the
that.
I
image
think
is
it's gonna
from
be-
filming, though.
Well,
They're
yeah,
filming
I think
now,
it's also
so-
going to be less rubbery. I think it really is going to be more cloth-like, so
Yeah.
you can probably actually move your neck in that. It probably won't be easy, but it'll
The
be
one
doable.
thing that picture successfully did is getting me excited to see Ben Affleck as Batman.
I was always excited.
Me
to see
too,
that.
but I'm like more so.
But yeah, now it's kind of justifying it, and I'm just. I constantly worry about that movie because it seems like they're just throwing more and more things against the wall to see what works. But it's like things like this, and like I really want to see this work out. I hope it does because I want to see I want to see Ben Affleck as Batman. I would like to see a DC movie universe akin to Marvel's universe.
Mm.
I don't want them to fail. They just can't help it. But I want them to succeed.
Yeah, it's true.
If they're just throwing stuff against the wall, hopefully they got some of those sticky rubber octopus things.
That'd be nice.
Those are
Okay,
Those are
a
cool.
story about those. When I was growing up,
Oh,
my dad used to go with my great-grandfather to auctions. And they would bring us kids, like, random things home. And at an auction, I don't know if they do them, like, now, the way they did when I was a kid, but they would have random kid box for $1. And they would buy whatever it was. One time they brought home a giant box full of colored pencils. That was okay. But one time they brought home a giant box full of those climb-down-the-wall rubber octopuses. And they were all over my great-grandmother's house. 2 months later, she found one sticking to the ceiling because it got stuck up there. That was the most... We were just throwing them everywhere. I bet we had 100 of them.
My stepmom hated those because I would throw them against the wall. They left residue. And it
Yeah.
was like, you have to clean that
Well,
up.
it was like a slug trail because
yeah, it
we...
really was.
Well, especially when you have 25 of them in one spot on a wall and they're all coming down at the same time. It's like
Let's see if I can get those on Amazon.
those things are. I
That
love
would be
those
an
things.
awesome thing to purchase.
They
the
would
most
be.
thing I ever got from an auction was like a giant rubber band.
We got weird stuff. That was the best thing ever. The color pencils were kind of cool too, but that was awesome.
I say you couldn't throw this away. You could, but they could stick.
Could poke them in the ceiling in the right place. Yeah, you can do that. All right, let's get to. Actually, I want to say hello to Hector. He finally joined us there in the chat room. Hector, you missed the film ball discussion. He's got his headset on there. If you'd like to join us live, feel free to do so. You can just do that by friending us on Google+. Just go look up CultureSmash. Friend us, we'll friend you back and invite you every week. You there, Hector?
Yeah, I'm here.
How do you feel about your chances in the film ball now that you've seen what Spider-Man's done so far?
I don't know how my chances are. I don't feel that comfortable this time. I really think Michelle did really well.
Michelle has a good list this time. I'm proud of her.
She does.
I've never
She's throwing
seen
up a victorious fist.
I've never seen this lack of confidence.
I'm just
Michelle says she thinks she
money.
bought. You might be right, Michelle.
Got her too.
What's that?
The Scientologist got her too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's true.
They're coming after us.
Real quick, Zach, you can actually adjust the amount of bandwidth you're using. Okay. Okay.
Low.
All right, Catherine, you can adjust it just in case we need a little bit more.
Not on HD.
All
Oh.
right, so
How do
let's
I adjust that?
sure, because that might help them actually come in a little clearer in the chat room.
Oh, parts.
Yeah. So Hector. Never mind. I'll ask you after the show, Hector, because I'm confirming everybody's list for the phone ball. All right, so let's get on to the news. All right, Catherine, you have the first story,
Oh, I do. Okay.
and this one's for you.
Yay! I read ahead, and I know why this one's for me.
Yeah.
Back in January, X-Men producer Lauren Schuler Donner expressed an interest in casting Channing Tatum, or Channing Tate-Yum,
Yeah.
as Gambit in a proposed standalone movie. It's true! He's yummy. Everybody agrees. Then in April, the 21 Jump Street star said that he'd love to play the character, and now it seems a deal has been done, with Donner confirming the news last night. It is Channing, Donner told Total Film on the X-Men Days of Future Past red carpet in London. He's a rogue. Channing, he's a rascal. That's just very strange syntax, Donnie.
Yep.
And he can handle the action. We all know that. Donner added the fact that he's a Southerner and knows that the world makes him the perfect person to play the part. I have no idea who Gambit is.
Okay,
but you know I'm
Gambit.
gonna go see him because it's Channing Tatum.
Gambit
Southerner,
is.
I can't play Gambit.
Yeah. So Gambit is from Louisiana.
Yeah, it's from New Orleans.
And he's sort of like, like a low-level criminal type. Really, he's a
He's an
pickpocket.
X-Men, but yeah, he's a thief and a pickpocket.
And if
Now
they're gonna
he's-
do a solo movie, they've got to start him in that spot.
Now he's technically, I think, the king or the lord of a thieves guild,
Yeah.
of like a major international thieves guild. But yeah, he's a thief who joins the X-Men, and I like Gambit. Gambit's a fun character. For those who don't know, his power is basically charges anything that he touches. He can choose to charge it with kinetic energy, so it blows up. He throws playing cards.
Yeah, he used playing cards which is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a weird power. And he carries around a staff for some reason
Yeah,
a lot
he
of
keeps a
times,
staff.
which is kind of weird.
I like Gambit. He
I'm
can
on
be
the
fun.
fence.
I think I don't mind Channing Tatum as an actor. I think he can do it. I'll be okay.
I never cared for Channing Tatum in anything I saw him in, because the biggest thing he did was G.I. Joe, which I hated him in. But I did like White House Down last
I was
year.
about to say, think about White House Down.
He
and then
did a
think
great
about
job.
his charisma in 21 Jump Street.
I
Between
don't
those two,
watch those movies.
I am
Yeah.
less
I
of
actually
a
liked it.
I have less of a
comedy.
yeah, and I
they're
have
really
less of
funny.
I have less of a problem with his role in. Well, I have less of a problem with him acting in his role in G.I. Joe than the role he was given in G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And the fact that they made Duke the rookie, I thought was dumb in the first one, and then the second one, they killed him off in 10 minutes.
Which was great. That was great.
I mean, yeah, because his character was like almost irreparably damaged from the first one. I mean, they could have kept him around and did stuff with him. It's just
Yeah. But he could do the action, if they find a way to tell a good story, I'm cool with it. So do you guys know who Lauren Schuler Donner actually, do you know who she is?
no, I don't actually.
Okay, she's like done a great job as far as a casting kind of producer and agent over at Fox, but she's married to Richard Donner, and that's how she got her start as a casting agent for his films. He did The Omen. He did
Superman.
the Goonies, Superman.
Oh well, since he did the Goonies, it's kind of like step.
Up.
Know your place, Brody!
That's right. Yeah, thank you.
Do not do that with the Goonies.
Richard Donner.
Yeah.
Say die.
Richard Donner actually had a fantastic directing career until Timeline, and that kind of destroyed him. That was the first of a bunch of disasters.
The Lethal Weapons movie?
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
1 and 2. Yeah, 1 and 2.
The good ones.
The good ones. Yeah. So from the mid '70s to almost 1990, he was awesome. So it's kind of interesting. It's like Power Family
The
of
90s
Hollywood.
ruined him.
It was Timeline,
Does that?
and I forget who the star of Timeline was, but he was like
Paul
like
Walker.
Yeah. it's
Paul Walker. Yeah, it was like his big thing. That movie's awful. All right, so Nico, you got the next story.
H.R. Is it Giger or
I always said Geiger.
Geiger?
That was Geiger.
Okay. H.R. Geiger died from injuries sustained after he fell downstairs in his home in Zurich. Geiger was born in 1940 in the Swiss city of Chur. His art was uniquely strange and surreal, but also powerfully dark, influenced by the work of Salvador Dali, H.P. Lovecraft, and Ernst Fuchs.
Sounds good to me.
The HP what?
Lovecraft?
Yeah, I thought you said love clap.
Yeah.
Does it sound like Lovecraft?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it said love clap.
I was like, clap.
Is this like a Venereal disease I wasn't familiar with?
That's what it sounds
It's the
like.
love clap.
There would be
You can't make up
any kind of venereal disease. that has to do with Lovecraft would probably be incredibly terrifying
and deadly. Yeah.
deadly. Yeah. Anyway,
Even
he
more so than
The regular
venereal diseases.
Yeah.
He painted nightmarish worlds where human bodies melded with machines in the dark. He referred to this aesthetic as biomechanical. His paintings frequently pushed the boundaries of acceptability using strong sexual imagery, often in disturbing ways. During this period, he pioneered using the airbrush as an artistic medium. His most famous work was from the period in the 1977's Necronomicon, which compiled several of his pieces together. This is the book that found its way into the hands of Ridley Scott as he was in pre-production for Alien. Amazed by what he saw, Scott invited Geiger to produce artwork, set design, and character designs for the film. The true otherness of the xenomorph, the alien that was featured in it, as well as the alien shipwrecked in LV-426, the facehugger, and the space jockey endured to this very day as some of the greatest and most unique to ever grace the silver screen.
I was sad to hear that because this guy.
I had no idea.
It just happened, and his character design. I mean, outside of the artwork it's true. No other alien character ever looked like the one from Alien.
Nothing looked like the xenomorph, and nothing has since looked like the xenomorph. It did look like a cheap ripoff.
Yeah, and when you look at other alien type movies, they all look like something else.
I mean, even the Predator design is still ultimately a guy in a suit. It's still...
It is. Yeah. As great as it is, you're right.
Yeah, whereas the xenomorph is... a lot of times it's still bipedal, but it's so gangly and grotesque.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see anything like
you have
it.
to go with something like the Lynch's Doom. Were those aliens, or was that just some weird...
Well, everything was an alien in there, yeah. But it's true, that was pretty unique also.
Something like that. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, people forget often, too, that...
Is that otherness of it,
Yeah. Geiger also did the monster sort of design for movie Species.
Oh, yeah,
Not a great movie, but...
but I mean, that monster
was cool. And also, he has this thing about, combining the grotesque with a sexual theme, and you can see that Species, yeah, was sort of the definition of his art in a lot of ways, even though the movie wasn't that great. Was it Natasha Henstridge or something? Wasn't that? She was like Mrs. Sexy for a few minutes, like 5 minutes, and she was in that movie. She turned into the monster at some point, the alien or whatever the hell it was.
I've not seen that movie start to finish.
I've seen it, but it's been many years.
I have, but yeah, it's been many years.
I can't even remember now if it was good, bad. You know what I mean? Like it could be a bad movie.
It was Natasha Henstridge.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Species 2, before I saw Species, and I'm like, what is this?
I saw Species 2.
I've seen it too.
Isn't that the one where they go to Mars, and then on the way back, I don't know.
I think that's right, because it's the guy who gets infected.
Yeah. All right, so that's all we have. Technically, we have another story in books and comics that's a movie story. Gets caught hell for that. But we'll get to it in a minute, because this week and next week are the Critics Association TV previews. So we have a lot of TV stuff. Most of the networks are announcing their fall and spring shows.
Not to mention, we also have a lot of shows that are wrapping up in season.
There are a lot that are wrapping up, and a lot have been canceled. I mean, it's not actually in the list here, but the big one is Community got canceled.
I was about to say,
it's not the only one. So did Almost Human.
Well, Almost Human got canceled. Yeah, and that was when it was kind of on the bubble. And
it was. It needed to find itself. The problem, I think, is it stayed too procedural.
That's it, because they tried to walk this line between a procedural drama, which I don't care for, and a science fiction show, which procedural drama people don't care for. They couldn't find its audience. It had to be one or the other, and they were too afraid to just give in either way.
You could do that balancing act better than they did. You can have procedural episodes. It's a cop series, so I'm fine with that.
Character-wise, there were great actors in there. They did a good job.
Ultimately, it didn't have.
Show.
It should have. It wasn't even 50-50 on procedural versus plot-driven.
Mm-hmm.
If it had even gone that far, I think it would have held better. It needed something to just...
It's almost like the science fiction element was just plot tools for the procedural part.
It's what it really felt like.
Like you have a villain that needed to make sure you didn't leave any DNA, so they had a bomb that they could drop a DNA bomb that would go puff and kill all the DNA in the room.
Yeah.
It was like sci-fi gadgetry is really what it was. And then a robot
But I really
lame.
did love the characters in it. Were
The buddy
really
cop
fun.
thing was
It worked.
their interaction was really good.
Carl Urban and the guy who played.
Carl Urban's a
Chloe.
great actor though. It's just
Carl
good
Urban's
stuff.
great.
All right, Zach, you have the first one.
Well, speaking of someone who's obsessed with TV, Microsoft has confirmed it's talking with publishers about boosting Xbox One's, no, the new one, not the original, graphical performance.
No, it's both actually.
What?
It's both. It's not. It's continue. I'll explain.
Following yesterday's news that the console will now be sold without the Kinect. I'd like to take this one.
I think there's a confusion. I think by old one he means the original Xbox,
Yeah, Xbox One.
which is no one calls it. The
Oh, you're just
Xbox
being a
One.
smartass. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Continue.
because I hate
Except minus the smartness.
Yeah.
everything
Yeah,
Microsoft
yeah,
is
smart.
doing.
You should be
is
paying attention
hilarious.
here, Zach, Dwayne, because this affects.
He is.
no.
We just can't hear
Yes,
because
true.
Scientologists.
Yeah.
Everything Microsoft has done over the past year is
Hey,
hilarious.
how about you finish reading
How
the
about
story?
reading the story?
I'd just
Exactly.
like to say, remember a year ago they were saying, you gotta have that connection. You gotta have that connection.
Just
Connection.
read the story,
Read the
Zach.
story.
Greatest thing.
Read the story, and we'll discuss it.
I apologize. It's the only way to get you to focus.
Don't
on that.
apologize.
You'll never learn.
Company execs, yourself.
Make him bleed. We get in the chat room.
Company exec.
From Dwayne.
Yourself, Mindy, told Polygon that discussions are ongoing about how to make it easier for developers to get more power out of the console, presumably in a bid to help it hit 1080p resolution on multi-platform titles.
Which I'll have an opinion about that in a minute.
Quote, we are in discussions about our game publishers about what we might do in this space, and we'll have more to talk about soon, it said. Digital Foundry has highlighted in the past 10% of the Xbox One's graphic resources are ring-fenced
Ring fenced, yeah.
for Kinect and apps, with this news that Kinect is now to become wholly optional for Xbox One owners. It seems the company wants to take this portion of the GPU previously focused on looking for voice commands and gestures and redistribute it elsewhere. Microsoft's Andrew Gossin previously told the site plans were afoot for such a move, saying, quote, in the future we plan to open up more options to developers to access the GPU reservation
KJ says
time
read, Zach.
while maintaining full system functionality.
Okay, so here's the thing. There's a couple of announcements. Microsoft is doing some pre-E3 announcements.
You gotta have that Kinect. It's a-
No, wait.
I was
Let
actually-
me finish synopsizing what's...
Okay.
Shut up, Zach. Because they're using the entire 90 minutes of their E3 presentation for games. Now,
About time.
here's the thing. Like, you're being a smartass about you got to have that Kinect thing. But
They were
they're-
pushing it
Stop
on
it.
consumers.
Thank
they
you.
were pushing it on consumers because it was part of what was supposed to be the overall experience. The thing is, the problem I have is I think they're bending to hardcore gamers because they wanted to do something more sort of
You have
mainstream.
a game console and gamers want games.
They can have games. Here's the thing. Basically what happens, you get these games that are 1080p. Most of them are coming out on the Xbox at 960. You can't tell a difference unless you zoom in and look pixel for pixel. Whatever, Zach.
I can totally tell. Let me get close to the TV.
Oh my goodness!
Get close to the TV. Yeah, let me get close to the TV.
There we go.
Thank
but
you. I'm sorry.
I would sacrifice that amount of resolution for the capabilities of the Kinect. But on the other side of it, now they're going to release a version of the Xbox One. It's
$100.
$100 cheaper. So if you decide to buy the Kinect later, it's going to cost you $129 to add it.
I think that's
If you
a
wanted
fine
to-
idea.
I think it's a fine idea.
But because I agree, like the number one selling point that I always see when using the Xbox One is just I want the voice controls. Honestly, I think they're
Right.
really neat. Honestly though, I'm gonna stay on the Xbox. We go off a little bit of this topic.
Yeah.
I think one of the bigger news stories that came out is the fact that they're unbundling Netflix, Hulu Plus, and so many of their streaming services
That's part of it.
from Gold.
They're taking them from behind the paywall.
Wait
Yeah.
a second, I didn't know that. That's not
Taking
Yeah.
effect this June.
No, it is good. Because
That's
up
right.
until now, you had to be a Gold subscriber to stream Netflix and Hulu.
Oh, but now you don't
Now
have
you
to.
do not.
You
Yes.
can do whatever you like. You can get this one and this one.
Yes.
Okay.
Which honestly has always been my hesitation to get the Xbox because
Mhm.
I never understood that logic.
Yeah, you're paying $40 a month.
You're double dipping because
you have to pay for
I don't
Netflix
care
on top of that.
personally about much online gaming,
Mm-hmm.
and there's the only things I would really take advantage of on Xbox Live are Netflix, Hulu, and stuff. Because my roommate has a 360, and that's our principal device in the living room.
Yeah.
and that's what we use it for. And
Well,
it's
now you're
so-
going to be, yeah.
now that's free.
Yeah.
So he's probably not gonna
Dwayne
go
says in
anymore.
the chat room that he feels like this is the end of Connect 2.0. I don't think it is the end of Connect 2.0.
It's a big dent, though.
To me, I think the problem is, and this all started when the head of Microsoft or the head of Xbox retired, and they got this new guy in. I don't think he's got the balls to hold out. Microsoft has always been one of those companies that would set their mind on something and just stick it out and force it on you until you accepted it, which is exactly what Apple does.
I think ultimately, though, they don't need the full Connect. I think really all they do need is the voice command system.
Well, but see, this is what it boils down to. To get the 1080p, they've got to free up that 10% of walled-off GPU space, which it's walled off because at any point during a game, you can use a gesture or you could speak to the Kinect. That's what that 10% is walled off for. Now what they're going to do is allow developers to deactivate that part during their gameplay. I don't have a problem with that. I don't typically use...
Of course, Dwayne's saying in the chat that you give the programmers the ability to not program for Kinect, they're not going to do it. And that's very possible. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea giving the developers the option to grab those resources for the game.
Right.
The problem is selling the Kinect without, or selling Xbox without the Kinect. Because then you've got users. Why? If I'm a developer, if I'm developing this game, and and it's going to cause confusion. Am I going to restrict myself to just a certain subset of the Xbox One owners?
That's an excellent point.
That was why
they don't have the Kinect. They can't play it.
That's why I said they needed to just freaking change the strategy and stick to their guns.
I agree. I do agree with that. I think with that argument, yeah, if you give the developers the option to turn off the Kinect, sure. But if the developers honestly have less and less of a reason to do it because less people will actually have Kinects, and they won't use it. I don't really care about Kinect in terms of gaming, though.
I think this is like the use of
the Kinect. A good game that is Kinect focused.
I don't know because I don't have.
There's Just Dance.
I don't have it.
I love Just Dance, and don't you dare say anything about it.
And here's the other thing.
I love it.
Hold on, but my point is though, I don't care about games being Kinect focused. I care about the media experience being Kinect focused. I care
exactly.
Yes, that's where I care about. I want to be able to use gesture controls to freaking change channels or go into to navigate.
I like to be able to swipe for fast forward and backwards.
Or
on my laptop.
Yeah, use the voice commands like look up this show or this channel.
I use
where it comes
the voice commands every day.
Yeah, I don't
every day.
Exactly. When I'm in gaming, I'm focused on something, and I'm fine just using the controller and going.
Yeah.
When I'm just on the couch surfing, I don't want to use a controller. It's like change channel.
There are opportunities for the voice commands in Kinect. I think the voice commands are more important than the gesture controls in the end.
Exactly
because
what I was
you
saying.
take a game like Battlefield. We were just discussing this. In those games where it's like you play your character, but you also have to control a platoon of CPU-based characters, I can never do that because you have to bring up this control set and you got to remember all these button combos to do this and that and the other. Battlefield, you just freaking say it. You tell your guy. They have names. You just tell them do this, and they go do it. You don't have to do all the button crap that you have to do on a computer, Zach. You just say it and it happens. I don't care if it's 960 resolution instead of 1080. You can't tell that much of a difference on a TV.
Is it 60 frames a second or is it 30 frames a second?
Depends on the game. It depends on the game. Some of them.
1080p 60 frames a second. That is the standard.
That's not the standard.
It's not standard.
It's not the
It's
standard.
like
my
4K
God.
should be the standard.
That's the standard
No!
on a computer, Zach. That's not the standard on any console.
Then why? You just admitted the computer is now greater than a console.
No, I didn't.
No,
Okay,
I
and
said
Resolution is not the end-all,
that
be-all
doesn't
of
determine
quality.
whether a
Thank
game
you,
is good.
Especially for video games. And
Yeah.
it's not what it's about. It's about the quality of the game.
I don't care how
And
pretty
what
it
you-
is. If the game
Yeah.
sucks, the game sucks.
Exactly. You want to play.
If the game
a
looks
good game.
ugly, if it's good,
And
it's
the
good.
other thing, to get that, yeah, if you've got money and you could afford an Alienware computer for $2,000, yeah, you're going to get the best gaming experience out there. I like to sit in my living room and play with my friends gaming. I don't have to sit on the computer with a bunch of douchebags.
Call me retro, but I will.
You do have to sit
prefer
here
a
with the
controller.
douchebags.
Well, I like to sit with my douchebag friends in person and play games. Yeah.
I mean, I am retro in that I would much rather have a controller in my hand at all times.
Well, then
do
see,
gestures
there's
or
more
stuff.
to it.
I
than
like that he's retro, but he wants the highest grade resolution
And
possible.
also that he's the youngest one in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
All
Now-
should be 60 frames a second in a movie.
It's
Anything less than you are.
it's not true.
below.
And I think a big part of this is because the PS4 has, since Christmas, has been outselling the Xbox One. But here's the
They
thing.
can do 1080p 60 frames a second.
Well, then
That's
tell
not
me.
fine.
Well,
You can do
okay.
it.
Well, then riddle me this. Microsoft in their quarterly report just announced profits. Sony's executives all had to take pay cuts because they're losing money, including on the PlayStation.
You know why? Because
Sony has-
selling it at a discount.
Sony has typically lost money on their PlayStation.
Yeah.
So it launched.
So
it
the-
did it with which one? It was PlayStation 3. It
Yeah,
lost money.
For
I think
years.
Spider-Man 3 saved it that year,
Mhm.
which was
Yeah,
terrifying.
it just makes me crazy that this new team that's in front of the Xbox doesn't have the balls to just stick it out, because I think what they have is the future of gaming. It's a future of a home entertainment box.
That's
Yes.
what the Kinect, the gesture control. I think is it's the next step in the whole computer interface.
Yeah,
Actually, the home medium interface.
yeah. I mean,
That's what the future is going to be. It's going to be a screen much larger than this that we have on the video as the wall, and it's just going to be talking to it and gesturing to it. That's going to be what the future of living rooms is going to look like.
Well, we were talking.
Dwayne is pro Wii U, which I think is a disaster. Yeah.
We were talking about the World's Fair and Disney World and Innoventions earlier. I remember that was, I was talking about the Alice in Wonderland thing. That was the thing that stuck with me the most, and it is the Kinect. Because you talked to the TV, and it did what you told it to, and you would swipe, and it would go to the next thing.
Mhm.
And it mystified me as a child, and now it's right here in my living room.
That's
So, yeah.
everything we wanted out of the
Everybody's
future.
dream.
It's
I don't
the
know. He
future
says
look.
read the whole thing.
American
I don't know. What is he talking about?
He wasn't necessarily so pro Wii U. He's talking about that Microsoft giving up on the Kinect is like Nintendo taking away the
Oh, the Wii
controller from the
controller.
Wii controller. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Wii U is its own disaster. So
Yeah, the Wii
But
U.
that's a different use case.
Yeah,
the-
they really have a lot of other problems.
Nintendo's
does.
not going for the upgrade next generation living room experience like Microsoft and PlayStation are. Well, at least like they should be.
Mhm.
But the problem with Nintendo is they've got great intellectual property. They have to figure out how to deliver that.
And the problem is they've sort of depended on people buying for Mario and for Zelda and these
I'm
sorts of
still
things.
shocked they have not come out for a Pokemon Snap Wii U. That would just sell itself. You just click.
Yeah, probably.
That
Well,
would
I mean, they-
sell.
Pokemon Snap would sell itself in any generation, but they haven't done it since the N64.
Exactly.
Right.
But yeah, ultimately, Nintendo's still making gravy off their handhelds. So
Well, actually, in their quarterly report, they're
Now.
they're profitable, but they've almost saturated the market. Is the thing.
yeah, now they have. But
Yeah.
the thing is, the next iteration, it's possible that the next iteration won't work. But everyone's thought that the 3DS was a failure when it launched, and it's still making money ridiculously.
Yeah, and it's one of those things kind of like this TV.
And that's
it has 3D capability that nobody's using.
Nintendo, when people actually do use the 3D capability on the 3DS, that's the weird thing.
Yeah.
But that ultimately, that's it. Nintendo. I get the feeling that Nintendo can always just be quirky and not try the kind of direction that Xbox and PlayStation are going, because they have the foothold in the handheld market. They are the undisputed champion of that. Even smartphones is little by little they're edging away.
Yeah.
Nintendo still wins there in terms of brand
It's true.
recognition.
It's true.
PlayStation's never going to catch up with the Vita.
No, and the Vita is trying to be something different, and the Vita is the thing that's going to get crushed by mobile.
Yeah.
It's because they're trying to exist in that space.
Well, the
And-
problem with the Vita is that they sold it on the promise of we're going to take all these old PS1 games and put them on Vita, and there was a glitch a few weeks ago that allowed them, even though some of them weren't fixed, and, some were broken and stuff like that. And PlayStation was like, oh crap, put a patch, to block that. And then consumers were pissed. It's like you have all this entire library that you won't even let us buy that
Yeah.
is ready. We
Well-
want games for this format. Give us games.
Okay, so
All right,
moving on.
so
Yeah.
so now let's get to the actual.
PC Gaming Master Race is the one that wins for me today.
Actually, it's not true. PC gaming is dead.
PC Gaming is actually edging out console gaming for the first time in 10 years.
You want to talk about a disaster? Let's talk about the Steam box, sir.
Okay,
That's a whole show in and of
All right,
itself.
all right, let's go.
Catherine, you have a story here.
Actually, you have that
It's
story.
you.
Oh, wait, do I have the story?
Yeah.
Well, it's about time I have a story. Where is it? Oh, here it is. All right,
The
so
one with your name on it.
Yeah. Fox Television has announced their fall schedule. The biggest story is that the Batman prequel series Gotham will be paired with surprise hit Sleepy Hollow on Monday nights. It's a big deal because Sleepy Hollow is one of those Friday Night Filler shows. But
No, it wasn't. It was on Mondays.
it very first started on Fridays. They moved it
No.
to Mondays.
It was always on Mondays.
I don't know about that.
I watched it all season.
Well, why did my DVR record it on Fridays?
They may have had repeats.
Okay. All right, so Gotham is a coming-of-age story focusing on the events in Bruce Wayne's youth that eventually lead him to become Batman. The series also features many villains from the world of Batman as they too grow to become the iconic bad guys we all know and love. Fox's other big drama premieres this fall is a show called Grace Point. This 10-episode event starring David Tennant and Nick Nolte focuses on the murder of a young boy in a small town and the investigation and media frenzy that overtakes the picturesque setting where every resident is a suspect. I don't know if I care about the story that much, but I like the 10-episode one-and-done kind of thing. That's just fun. Let's see. What is it? Hieroglyph. Why did I do that? Hieroglyph may be the weirdest new series to hit the air. This series is about a convicted criminal in ancient Egypt that must do battle with vampires. The series pushes the boundaries of what can be broadcast on network TV by amping up the violence and sex.
Someone's going to be canceling this.
That one in the last 2 episodes, yeah. So weird. Wayward Pines stars Matt Dillon as a government agent that finds himself in a small town full of bizarre characters. The Twin Peaks influenced series
That can't.
appears to build its mystery around the odd characters.
Wasn't that done on with M. Night Shyamalan?
It was. He's in a executive producing role. Yeah. Last Man on Earth stars Will Forte. I'm fascinated by this. As the only person left alive on Earth. The series comes from the creators of 21 Jump Street and a Lego movie. In the trailer, he's literally the only person in the show.
I haven't seen the trailer, but the premise sounds interesting.
It's
I'll
real.
look it
It's
up.
oh,
Well,
crap.
Wasn't Will Forte on SNL?
Yeah.
He's a comedian, and it's 21 Jump Street in the Lego movie. Is this supposed to be dramedy, comedy? What is this?
Probably.
Well,
He was also in Nebraska.
yeah, which was, I mean.
I remember
nominated
that. And I'm not
It's-
saying that he can't, because usually comedians are like the best dramatic actors. But I'm just wondering, with all that Will Forte 21 Jump Street and Lego movie, like, is it?
I think
supposed to have a
I think there
comedic
will be some comedic twist up into it, but I don't know how. I
It's
kinda-
really an artsy premise. This
Yeah.
Last
so it will
Man
probably
on Earth.
also be canceled.
It probably will also
Huh.
be canceled.
Grace Point's actually based off of a series called Broadchurch, which
yeah.
is David Tennant also stars in.
Yeah.
And it's going into its second season, I think, later this year, which David Tennant also stars in. So that's an interesting concept.
And they've also said that the ending is going to be very different from Broadchurch.
And
Because,
he plays a different character, and I think he's
Yeah.
got like an American accent.
and that, I think Broadchurch actually airs on BBC America,
I think it
doesn't
does,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just overall, I'm going to be interested to see the.
Now, they have other things. They have some
Yeah.
new sitcoms and things, but I only included in our stories
The
the
stuff
things
that
that seem like would be relevant to what we do.
Have you seen the trailer for Gotham though?
I have seen the trailer for Gotham.
That's the only one I've seen the trailer.
Now,
I think. It actually looked.
It looks
It looks
very
pretty
good.
cool.
Yeah.
And the special effects team that's behind it are promising better visuals and special effects than were in the last Batman movie. That's the money they're putting behind
which
it.
is kind of odd because
It isn't.
I don't,
So you saw this too, that they said that.
Yeah, and I don't expect there to need to be better visuals. It's not super heroics. It's still
So
a
what kind of
drama.
show is it going to be?
It's-
You know?
Because he's a boy. It's not even
And he's
like
very
Obama
young.
where
Yeah.
I think
he's
the
a
description
boy.
here is misleading because Bruce Wayne's not the star. It's
No.
Jim Gordon.
Yeah.
And
Um,
I think I like that premise. I like Gordon.
Jim Gordon is an interesting character to focus on. And that was one of the saving graces for me of the three Nolan Batmans. I love Jim Gordon in all three of those movies.
Yeah.
That's it,
Gary Oldman was great.
He
in
was
the role.
fantastic.
Might take him wrong. Sorry.
So,
I was thinking Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Go.
so I don't know exactly what the
That'd
show's
be
going to be.
also a good TV show on Fox.
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead.
Every week on Fox.
All right, so Catherine, you have the next set here, and they actually, ABC actually released their cancellation list too.
ABC announced returns, cancellations, and new shows coming this fall on Friday. First, the renewals. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Scandal, Modern Family, Castle, Once Upon a Time, and Grey's Anatomy. I have no idea why Grey's Anatomy is still on the air.
That's crazy to me.
Resurrection, and The Goldbergs. Shows to get the boot were Trophy Wife, The Neighbors, Super Fun Night, and Suburgatory. Oh, no, not Suburgatory.
Yeah.
I like that one. And Mixology. Nashville. Wait a second, really?
Nashville's on the bubble.
Yeah.
No!
That interest in that show has just fizzled.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
And, well, it's not like they were going to be able to keep it here and keep shooting because it's so dang expensive. And Last Man Standing are on the bubble. ABC's new series pickups that matter to us are Gallivant is another fairy tale show, but this one's a musical. What?
This one,
I've
seen the trailer.
I need to show you. Keep reading. I'm going to pull this up so you can see it.
Original songs. Oh my goodness. Will be written by Alan Menken and Glenn Slater. I can't. It will star Vinnie Jones and Timothy Amundsen.
Yeah. He's from Psych. He was also in Jericho.
That's true.
Faces. The Whispers, formerly The Visitors, is produced by Steven Spielberg. Lily Rabe from American Horror Story and Milo Ventimiglia.
He was in Heroes.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
quote-unquote making.
In this alien invasion stories and Marvel's Agent Carter.
Now, I kept that one separate because we have a whole separate
Why don't
story.
you just go on to this story while you
Yeah, continue with yours, and then I'll show
Okay.
you guys this trailer.
Speaking of Agent Carter, not only has ABC picked it up, based solely, though, on the plot synopsis and creative team, and they've given it a full season order. Here is that plot synopsis. Quote, Marvel's Agent Carter, starring Captain America's Haley Atwell, follows the story of Peggy Carter. It's in 1946, and deals with Peggy Carter. It's a serious blow as she finds herself marginalized.
Sorry about that. Hang on, it just started on its own. But
Okay.
wait, I'm going to stop it.
Finds herself marginalized
I'm going to try to
men
stop it.
return home from fighting abroad. Working with the covert Strategic Scientific Reserve, as she did in Captain America, Peggy must balance doing administrative work and going on secret missions for Howard Stark, all while trying to navigate life as a single woman in America, in the wake of losing the love of her life, Steve Rogers. It's inspired by the feature films Captain America, The First Avenger, and Captain America, The Winter Soldier, as long as with the one-shot Agent Carter. It's worth noting that while Howard Stark is mentioned in the synopsis, it's not been officially confirmed as to whether or not the actor who played it in Captain America, Dominic Cooper, will reprise his role
I hope
as
so.
the swanky industrialist and S.H.I.E.L.D. co-founder. Though Cooper did cameo in the Agent Carter Marvel one-shot, he told IGN that he'd love to have a reoccurring role. The series is executive produced
He's
by...
so good
Yeah, I know.
in that role.
I loved that one-shot. Did you watch the one-shot?
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. The series is executive produced by Captain America, the Winter Soldier scribe Christopher Marcus and Steve McFeely, and who wrote also the pilot, and along with Reaper creators Tara Butters and Michael Fazekas.
Did you guys ever watch Reaper?
No, I never
I loved that show. It was so funny.
did. And of course the Marvel Studios film producers.
Their description of Agent Carter just doesn't interest me. I don't think it's fair, that description. I hope that's not what they're doing.
I think, well, I mean, we just had the same issue with the Gotham one. The description isn't what the show's going to
No.
be.
Yeah.
And I liked the one-shot. The one-shot was really good. If it's more of that, I'll be okay
And
with
she's Haley Atwell is so cool now.
And luckily, Trophy Wife just got canceled, so Bradley Whitford,
Yeah.
who was in the one-shot, now has
Yeah.
a job.
But she's so, like, perfectly plucky in
She
that
was.
role.
It was great. I
You know?
just, yeah, and I kind of don't want this to be a series. I think it should be a miniseries. I
Mhm.
think it, honestly, what I think they should do, and what ABC's going to do, is this is going to start fairly soon.
It
Because-
actually, there was an update, and they've announced that this series will play in the mid-season break for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
So, okay,
So they
it's the
will not be
mid-season. So-
simultaneous.
Yeah, so it's the mid-season, so it will be in the winter.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, but it's going to do when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is off.
Yeah.
Which is honestly what Once Upon a Time in Wonderland failed at.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Wonderland was originally supposed to be a miniseries.
Yeah.
Then they extended it for a series and ran it during the same time. Like
It's too
it was
much.
like it was on Thursday,
Yeah.
whereas Once Upon a Time was on Sunday. But
Mhm.
the same
It was
season.
an oversaturated
It was
market,
oversaturated.
And
And then
I-
eventually had to shut it off and end it and make it the miniseries it was originally supposed to be at the beginning. That's what that kind of thing needs to be. You have the main running franchise, and then you have these small little other stories that happen in the mid-seasons or in the summers.
All right, let's see if we can run this trailer for
This is
Gallivant.
Gallivant.
Really,
The
I'm really,
musical.
It's the most ridiculous thing I've
Alan
seen.
Menken. Musical series.
I have travelled long and far to seek your favour. 4 months ago, my peaceful kingdom of Valencia. I'm sorry, what is that smell?
That'll be me.
My father used to tell stories of your skill in battle, your heroism.
Is there a question in there somewhere?
What happened to you?
I want to shoot you with the crossbow.
Oh my god.
I'm checking out.
Shut up, Zach.
Uh-oh.
The minute Zach checks out, I start to say, "Why does it glitch now?"
The Scientologists.
Sorry, let's try.
I'm gonna make it small.
Will it help if we say we believe in Xena?
Probably take it out of HD and take it.
Who are you? Because the man before me is certainly not the man of legend. Why have they sing songs of?
Oh, I'm certainly am. Everybody say!
Alan Menken.
It's about to get very messy again.
Oh my gosh, this looks like Spamalot series.
So, on this glorious day, we celebrate the union of our groups. So sorry to interrupt. Here's the thing. You can offer her great fame, you can offer her great fortune, but only I can offer her great love. And that is what she chooses.
Actually, I'm gonna go claim fortune.
Good night.
It's the third time I played that sound effect.
I'm okay. I produced you that for me, please.
You're just gonna sit there. Please, save my people.
Early tomorrow at sunrise. That might be. It's a long journey ahead. And so begins our film, of which this delightful album we're gallant out to start its journey. One that was the immensely
Not him killed. We killed the last 4 generations of chefs in my family. We were such quality.
I'm
I'm
also looking forward to this.
I can't believe this show exists.
I'm so glad it does.
I'm so excited.
I feel like
Well,
it's
okay,
good. I have these nightmares of cop rock.
No, okay, but here's the thing. I am so scared because it's almost like Spamalot, but it has the same aesthetic as Pushing Daisies. And oh my goodness, I can't go down the same road as Pushing Daisies because that ripped my heart out and stomped it on the floor. I want it to do well so badly.
This is the thing about this time of year, though. There'll be like 8 great shows, and 2 or 3 of them won't survive.
The only thing I'm worried about is it's doing the same thing as what we just said about with Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. This shouldn't air at the same time as Once Upon a Time. It's not connected. It's not that same universe, but
No.
it's that kind of
around the
fantasy.
same thing.
Yeah, it's that kind of fantasy feel. So it should air in the off season.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I think I hope it's not a problem because it looks fun. I like Timothy Olmos in it. He's funny, and I would like to continue that.
I don't really, I don't care for musicals, but this looks pretty humorous.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Nowadays with musicals, I love that even Frozen, it is all coming to this very self-satirical thing where you are making really good music, and it's still a musical, but right now we're all very smart audience members who know, well, you don't just break out in a song for absolutely no reason. You better be funny about it.
Yeah.
So.
And I agree. It is that kind of standalone.
And you run into, they cast actors for their role, not necessarily for their singing ability. So some people are not going to be that good.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that'll be okay for it. It's more forgivable on the comedy side.
Yeah.
As long as it's still funny.
But that one, and I wish there had been a trailer for Hieroglyph because it just sounds like such a ridiculous show.
Yeah.
It sounds.
The word is they're trying to exist in the Game of Thrones space a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's
which is weird because Fox used to be that. They used to be that edgy
Yeah.
world, but it's hard to go back.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, so who's got the next one?
What's new on Blu-ray?
Oh, well, all right, we're there. All right, so new on Blu-ray, I, Frankenstein 3D, Her, Orange is the New Black, Season 1, which I thought was very bizarre, because if you have Netflix and you watched it, do you need the Blu-ray?
Well,
Oh, you know why you need the Blu-ray? Because you want the 1080p, Zach.
Yeah.
Because it only streams in 720 on Netflix, and it makes such a difference.
You want that DCS HD Master Audio 5.1 and that 1080p encode.
I guess that's what you want,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Dragon Ball Z
You
Season
want
4.
the special features?
Stop it.
You want the auto comp?
All right.
Well, no, actually, I would want the
now,
special
or-
features, yeah.
But
Yeah.
have you seen that they have done like a mini?
There is.
series
I haven't watched it
on
yet.
Netflix. I haven't watched it yet either. Talking to all of the actors.
I added it. Oh, we've got music beginning here.
We're being played off.
That's it. Show's over.
Show is over.
Oh no! Can't talk about it.
Let me
Right.
bring
That's
this.
the Wi-Fi.
I'm getting there. There. All right. So where were we? New on Blu-ray also is
That awkward
The Awkward Moment, Eastbound and Down Season 4, Stalingrad 3D. I have no clue what that's about.
I actually got the IMAX treatment.
I know. But I don't. What is it? Is some kind of?
It's a Russian film about the Battle of Stalin.
I guess. Yeah.
I mean,
The Ocean's Trilogy Collection. I looked at this, and we have it linked to on our website. I think this just must be a reissue.
It's
Maybe
a
it went out of
reissue.
print. Because it looks exactly the same as that last Blu-ray box that was out.
I would pick up Ocean's 11 if it had a lossless audio track.
Well, I only want the first two because the third one kind of sucky.
I'm almost in the first one.
Yeah. The first one's the best one. And then there Evil Speak, which is a classic cheesy horror film. And then the Fast and Furious 6 movie collection.
You know they're making more. Why pick up this?
Well, I don't know if they're going to make more than one more. Do you think they'll make it another
pick
one?
up the entire
Yeah,
set.
yeah, I was about to say,
I would wait too. I would wait
Yeah.
too.
It's like when Harry Potter came out. After the second movie, they came out with that box set every film. It's like,
Why would you do it?
Just the
Because
first
they
four
knew people
films.
would buy it.
It's true.
And it worked.
Okay. They're saying that's they're comparing our discussion to the Star Wars show. All right, so let's go to books and comics.
In comics this week from Marvel, we have New Ultimates number 2, Deadly Hands of Kung Fu number 1, New Avengers number 18, Nightcrawler number 2, and book I'm annoyed I forgot to buy today, United States of Murder Inc. number 1.
Nice.
On DC, we have Constantine number 14, Fables 140, Justice League United number 1, New 52, Futures End number 2, and Superman Dooms number 1. And on the small press side, we've got Ash and the Army of Darkness number 7, Hellboy in Hell number 6, Judge Dredd number 19, Mars Attacks, Firstborn number 1, and Walking Dead 127.
All right, so I have a story here, and this is I just kind of stuck it on at the end because it came out last minute, but it is based on a book, and this may be the happiest yet also on the most on the fence news I've heard in a while. Director Ridley Scott is in talks to helm The Martian, an outer space adventure film starring Matt Damon. Based on the book of the same name by Andy Weir, The Martian was originally to be directed by Drew Goddard. He left the film, however, to helm the Sinister Six for Sony. The story follows an astronaut who struggles to stay alive while stranded on a Martian colony. While the astronaut yearns for survival, NASA tries to put together a rescue mission to save him. The film has been compared to blockbuster Castaway and to Apollo 13. Okay, this is relevant because I just read this book and I've forced it on at least 2 other people because it's riveting. You read
Amazing.
it. It's so good. And then Ada in the chat room, she also read it. I see the Castaway kind of comparison because the majority of the story just is with this one guy.
And his volleyball.
Well, no, there's no volleyball, but it's his crap. How about that? Literally his crap.
I can kind of see the Apollo 13 thing though.
In parts.
Because
it's on Mars.
It's not so much that it's. Well, there is a little bit. I don't want to give away too much because it really.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of fixing things and gadgets and figuring out solutions to technological problems with limited resources that is kind of similar. But
here's the thing for me is I'm a little sad to see that Drew Goddard is not on it anymore. If you don't know, he's the what are you laughing about, Zach?
He's watching some sort of Walking Dead. Yeah.
You're eating up our bandwidth over there?
No. Yeah, it looks like it.
So Drew Goddard, if you don't know, is the guy who directed
Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods. Catherine, would you deal with him?
He's also your place, Brony. Turn it off.
Yeah.
He's also working on the Daredevil miniseries. It's going to be on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is, honestly, I think that's a better dedication of time because I'm really looking forward to that.
More than the Sinister Six thing. Yeah.
Totally.
But he has this sort of comedic sense of humor that would just be so cool because part of what makes this character so endearing is he makes you laugh. I mean, he's in dire straits. He's gonna die, but he still has this sort of wit about him that's just like when you're reading the book. I found, at least for me, sometimes where I just bust out laughing just reading the book.
Laugh out loud moments.
And at the same time, as much as I think Matt Damon is a great actor, and he is, I don't know if he's quirky enough somehow. It just doesn't fit to me. I'm happy that these names are behind it because it's such a good story.
Well, I think we discussed that when we read the books. The perfect guy for it. Unfortunately, he kind of made a similar movie already.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm finding out his name.
What's the movie?
Moon.
Sam Rockwell?
Sam
Rockwell.
I do love Sam Rockwell.
He would be great for it. It's just
I can see the worry about that, especially Ridley Scott isn't a particularly.
He's a hard sci-fi guy.
Yeah,
he's not really
particularly a lighthearted. He does his movies.
How's that Prometheus 2 sequel coming along?
Well, that's his next movie.
Yeah, his movies don't typically have that kind of like quirk of there's a little bit of lighthearted comedy to it.
Now, and also, this isn't to me a big budget special effects driven kind of thing. There's sequences, but it's such more of a character thing.
It would be more like Moon.
Catherine, I think you should read it. I really think you should read it.
Is this a graphic novel or?
No, this is a novel. Okay. Yeah, it's
there
a
are no
book.
In this one.
But yeah, no, unfortunately,
I can deal with a pictureless book as long as it's fiction. A lot of the times, I can't deal with nonfiction. Huh?
Yeah,
but it's fiction. Maybe
well, but a story-driven book. I can do biographies. I can do things. It has to be a character. No. I had nightmares the other nights because of Great Expectations. Yeah. And going back into AP European history with all that stupid flowery text.
Yeah.
I can do something as long as it's character story-driven without pictures.
But this is probably my favorite book that I've read since Ready Player One. It's just
that's also a good book.
I don't know if I can say that, but I've read a lot more.
Well, I mean, I've read a lot of great books, but this one just stuck to me.
It's a standout.
Now that would be a hard movie to make.
Yeah, it would be, but I would love to see that too.
But actually, thinking about it too, at first you kind of think,
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon can kind of do that quirky. He doesn't do it
very honestly, I think I'm less skeptical about Matt Damon
than Ridley Scott.
And
I love Ridley Scott. I do.
I think Ridley Scott is great at sci-fi. It's like, and I haven't read the book, but just the way you described it, if it has those little comedic quirks, that's not what Ridley Scott does.
I mean, what is the first line of the book? It's like.
It'll wreck our explicit tag.
Well, you just have to take the F word out because I think that's what it is.
I think it's like I'm
effed and I'm gonna die. I mean, he's just like that. He's just that kind of character.
That would be perfect for Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Makes me really sad.
Well, Moon was a fantastic movie.
It was, and it's a little. It strikes a little too much of a similarity.
Yeah. Well, Are they like, is Matt Damon like the one? Because I can see where you're coming from. He doesn't. He's a little too not squeaky clean, but he's in that realm. He doesn't have
honestly
as much edge.
If you're going to the Matt Damon, Ben Affleck can do comedy better than Matt Damon.
I do agree with you there.
Perfect. Actually, it just hit me.
What?
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg could do it.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg could.
see that.
He can be funny and funny in a weird way. What was the
I Heart Huck.
I Heart Huckabees?
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, that was
He was so
weird.
bizarre and funny in that one. It's I don't know.
About a flawed movie, but it was fantastic.
But when it was on, it was on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm happy to see the movies get made. I just wanted it to be good. I had half design. I didn't know it was even that far long. I had a design of like.
I love the book so much, it actually kind of scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
I almost just assume they leave it alone.
So I just want everybody I know to read the book before the movie comes out in case it sucks, because that book is so good.
You can wait until after the movie comes out, so it looks better.
A really quick read. I mean, it's not a huge
I
book.
will read it while I'm on the beach.
That's right. But I will forewarn you about one thing. That,
will it upset me?
No, it's not going to. Not that it's going to upset you. But he has to do a lot of stuff, like to stay alive, and
like eat his poop.
Well, no, he doesn't have to eat his poop. Well, no, he doesn't have to eat his poop. But there are some sequences in the book where, I mean, he's an engineer, and all of a sudden you'll find yourself buried in some engineer technobabble to figure out how he survives. But it's like the most interesting thing I read on Audible before I got the book is it's like, you don't really have to invest in that part, and you kind of don't.
And the Weir does a really great job too of a lot of that stuff. He'll start blah 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 blah, and he'll go, nobody cares about this, and skip ahead.
And the thing is too is that sometimes I kind of like hearing jargon in there because a good author will kind of ease you into it and make you feel like you kind of sort of understand it and you're getting in there in that journey along with it.
Right.
A really bad thing along with that is Dan Brown, and I know that's a terrible reference, but it's the same thing with, like, you know, the whole entire encryption and everything. You're going along with it. I will never be an encryptionist or, like, be able to code stuff.
Pick it up.
But, yeah.
Neither will Dan Brown.
Oh, hey, Hector.
No, you
Hector
won't.
says you'll love it. Hector, you read the book? Turn your mic up there, buddy. He's looking at me. He's got that giant curtain behind him again.
Yeah,
my volume's
up.
up. My volume's up. Yeah, buddy. Stop watching cat videos and pay attention.
Oh my God.
Zach.
I did read the book. I thought it was great.
What was the line I was thinking of? That part of it, though, if you don't necessarily enjoy it, it's not as crucial. But the way it is, there's reasons for the whole thing, because he's assuming he's going to die. So he's keeping video logs of everything he goes through so that the next people that find it will have record of what happened to him and how he tried to survive, which is great because it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Why he's so detailed.
Okay.
I guess Hector's mic situation's not working, but
No,
I'm
man.
glad he read the book also.
All right.
All right, so this is probably a good place for us to wrap it up. It's been a good show, and I'm really hungry.
Okay.
Nico, we're going to find you on the internet, sir.
You can find me at nicoscreen.com, twitter.com/nicoscreen.
Zach, wake up.
I
I don't know why we let you in here.
You can find me on.
Yeah, you even removed the apartment number from the listing.
I tried to. I tried. Yeah, he still found his way in. Damn you.
It's okay. You can try to keep me up, but eventually.
Yeah. Like mold.
That just sounds way worse than
that.
You
Yeah.
can find me on Twitter at MasterZ91. You can find me on YouTube, Space Mountaineer91. You can also find me on CultureSmash.tv. Please, someone take this away from me. Oh my gosh, what have I said?
Yeah.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Theron and Than.
How do you spell it?
TheRineAndThan. I haven't had to spell it in forever.
It's true.
Hard.
That's why
Yeah.
you need to practice.
I do
true.
need to
It's true.
practice. I just need to do it every day
That's right.
when I wake up.
Actually, when you go that fast, it doesn't.
Doesn't?
No, not really.
Well, that's why this is recorded, so people can go back and slow it
Exactly.
It's like you ever notice when voice spell that like people actually, it's almost like they practice reading phone numbers fast.
People do that when I
They'll
ask
be going, you'll be, this is so and so at so and so. You can reach me.
People do that for me at
Or-
work when I'm at a call center and I need to take down their phone number. I'm like, do you expect me to copy it down there?
Or the
it's
people who do,
you know, so
Yeah.
you don't even hear the last couple.
or the people who do it like, because like you say three numbers, and then four numbers. The people
Out of
who be
order.
like, I'm at 61542 12345.
Yes.
Please don't do that.
No.
Yeah, don't do that. That sucks.
So, Mike.
Where can you find it?
Yeah, he's-
Google
he's-
Plus and under Clovis Chitwood and CultureSmash.tv.
Nice. All right, so of course, along with everybody here, I'm on CultureSmash.tv, but also on Twitter, just look for CultureSmash. On Facebook, it's CultureSmash. Google Plus, everywhere, just look up CultureSmash, and you will find me and us with all of our latest.
Your latest Scientology chapter?
My Scientology chapter, exactly. And if you're listening to the audio version, you can always be a part of this live video event just by friending us on Google Plus, and you'll get friended back and get an invite on Wednesday, 6:45 Central Time, or close to it. It's usually close to it. So join us. Dwayne, you're still there in the chat, sir. You stuck it out with us in the chat. You had to stay home and take care of the son tonight. The boy. Where are we going to find you on the internet, sir? Can you look? He's looking. He's looking at the screen. Yeah.
Dr.
Oh, he's typing it.
75.
Dr. Worm
Oh, wait,
75.
I forgot
yeah,
this mic
that's pretty
actually
much him everywhere.
That tightly says Drom.
Not spelled correctly at all.
See, it's spelled like that. It does kind of look like Dwarf.
Exactly. All right, so
Drow RM75.
we're still on Stitcher Radio. So if you don't want to download the episode, you don't want to stream it on YouTube, you can get it from Stitcher Radio. That's a good option for you, and iTunes still too. So all right then. Anything else to say for yourself, Nico?
How do you use the restaurant?
Me too. I really do.
First dibs.
No.
Nope.
I said it first.
Well, dibs.
I don't care.
Dibs
Yeah.
are those like little ice cream things.
Oh,
No, that's
so
dips.
good.
That's dips.
Dips, okay.
Dippin' Dots.
I say Liberty Dips.
That's how the show ends on GarageBand.
On Dippin' Dots.
So yeah, we'll see you next week, guys.